Hello, this is going to be a little segment about connection and stretch. Most important part of West Coast Swing is how you connect with your partner, and then the stretchy feel that you get at the end of the slot. And that's what distinguishes West Coast Swing from any other partner dance, from ballroom or most country dances, that they don't have that same kind of stretchy and then the level of connection. And it's those two things which then allows play with the music eventually, because you can feel where your partner is. We're having a more in-depth conversation rather than a set dialogue of you've memorized your lines and I've memorized mine, and we go back and forth. This connection allows us to make changes and differ from one song, one partner to the next. So with our hands, I'm going to have the lovely Diane come help me again. And we want to have our hands connected primarily through two fingers. So if I make the I love you sign in sign language right here, so you have your middle two fingers down, those two fingers are primarily, both for the lead and the follow, what's going to connect. Then your first and fourth finger just kind of wrap softly around. So for the lead, it's going to be with my left hand. For the follow, with her right hand. And we're primarily connecting through these two right here. And it's where your rings would be versus your fingertips. So you don't want to curl in as if you're giving him the claw. That's no good. It's a connection through here. Now you also have your wrist relaxed versus being up here. Your wrist wants to be totally relaxed. And so you're molding, ladies, you're molding your hand around his hand. You haven't decided this is where I'm going to have my hand, and then clink, I clink onto my partner. I take my partner's hand and I mold around his hand. You want to be connected though, mostly ladies, through this part in here. And you want to have a bend primarily in this third set of knuckles. So if you have 1, 2, 3 sets of knuckles, it's primarily that set right here that you're connecting, that you have bent, and then you just mold around his hand. Now, your first and fourth fingers for both the woman and the man are just kind of chilling. You don't want to use them. So guys, I don't want to be stiff and up right here. I don't have to hold her up. She's not going to fall down if if I'm not there to hold her up. But my first and fourth are touching her. They're just relaxed, not doing a whole lot. Now, all of that means that you don't have to use your thumb at all. So no thumbs ever. Don't use your thumb on your dance partner. So guys, you don't want to clink it to the side either. You want to just be the fawns. Be cool, ladies. You're just chilling here so you don't get your hands stuck. You want to have some freedom to let your partner do their part rather than I've clamped her in and now she can't get away. She's got no escape route. So it's just fingers to fingers. Now, moving back from your fingers, as we go up through our arms, we want our arm muscles to be relaxed. So I'm never going to move the woman with my bicep like this. That was bad. Or I didn't move my body at all. I just pulled her and then I pull her off balance and I make her do all sorts of bad things. I can't do that. My arms want to be supported from my lats in the back. So here, I'm going to bring my arms up from there and then kind of settle down to a nice level versus using my biceps to bring my arms up. If I'm doing bicep curls with her, I'm using these. You like the guns, guys, but not on the dance floor. So I'm holding myself out, almost as if we're ballerina. So for the ladies, you still have some freedom. You can move here in your shoulder. It's not a shoulder tightness or bicep or tricep tightness that's keeping you here. So if you look at my hand here, this looks very tight. You can tell I'm reining her in. I have a little pull. She has a little pull against me. That's no good. I want to be relaxed. The movement of the dance, the continuation is her job. If I rein her in, now she can't continue to the end of her slot, which also takes away the stretch, which is the next part. So with our shoulders, guys, we always want to be connected, and as we move back, we're going to move. We have a little bit of give in our shoulder, but not a ton. We don't want to give this up. So as I move with my center, I want to take her with me, but there's a very slight relaxation in your shoulder socket. So your shoulder socket is not glued in place like your Ken doll and can't move. This is soft, so a little bit squishy. Same thing for the ladies. You don't want to be so tight in your upper arm or forearm that you have to pull yourself up on him. So when we move, there's a little bit of a, and then we move into one. Versus if we're both tight, tighten up, Diane. Okay, and we both get tight in here. Now when I move, it creates a jerkier movement. And she laughs. That doesn't mean she's having a good time necessarily. So Keeping this soft basically lets her be a big girl and lets her do her part in the dance too. I don't have to hold her up. She's a big girl. She's not going to fall into a puddle if I drop her hand, right? So I'm just holding her hand nicely with this connection here and with the support coming across your back and through your lats, but your shoulder socket being somewhat movable within the socket. So doing a left side pass, I'm going to move and 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, an underarm turn, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. And noticing that on the underarm turn, I'm not finishing her turn either. So my shoulder doesn't have to be tight at all through that. My arm really is not doing all that much work in these basic movements. I'm starting her with my body, and see how I'm not pulling my arm into me. I'm starting her body. I bring my hand up, and then I let her continue, and see my arm just float down. This would be bad if I pull her down, 1, 2, 3, and here, and finish her turn for her. She doesn't need that. All she needs is an invitation to go, and then she's gone, off to the races. So, same thing in a sugar push. Once I start her going, I'm going to let her come into me. I can press, and then send her back out. On a sugar push, ladies, you want your fingers and your hands to stay in the same position. So watch Diane's hands as she comes in. 1, 2, they stay in the same position versus the wrist breaking up. So if she were to do it badly and she were to bring her hands up like this, now she's trying to create the movement in the hands, and that's the lead's job. His job is to move you, to lead you. The way he talks and says what I'd like you to do is by moving this. So ladies, if you keep your hands in that same place, you're constantly seeking connection. So it's the lady's job to connect to wherever he's asking her to connect to. In this case, it's hands right here. If we were in closed position, it would be on her shoulder blade, right back here. And then ladies, you would stay back into his shoulder blade. Not like you're leaning back and he has to hold you up, but you're just back there and connected. So you connect to whatever he asks you to connect to, basically. Right here I have 2 connection points. If I want to move her, I'm going to use the one that's directly connected to her center to move. And if I'm going to do a turn, then I will give an additional source of direction from this hand. So I move her with my right hand, which is connected to her center, and I'm going to give her a prep and then the turn with my left hand. But my left hand, notice, didn't have to pull her down the slot. So, ladies, as long as you find where he puts his hand, then guys, we don't feel like we have to pull. We can just keep that connection. So easy, underarm turn, left side spinning pass, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, sugar push, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and she stays connected in here the whole time. We will talk about stretch in the next segment. Thank you very much.